Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissick and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissick.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
Hey, Dana, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I feel like you and I never really get to catch up and talk until
I know. We need like a scheduled phone date.
Yeah, for sure. Well, super excited for our guest today. We have Mr. Zack Ferrell. And Zack, why don't you kind of tell everybody, you just got nominated in a great organization for 30 Under 30. So why don't you tell everybody about yourself and about that nomination?
Yeah, so just found out this week that I was nominated as one of the finalists for 30 Under 30. So I'm 29. So this is my last chance.
Oh, this is it.
Yes, all the marbles. So I've been trying to make this list since I was 21. It's been my one goal, or my main goal, I should say. So if you guys want to vote for me, I would really appreciate it. So starting next Friday, so today's the 5th. So on the 12th through the 19th, voting will be open. You can vote once a day for me. It's not necessarily based upon this, but if I'm at the top, it's going to help me get in.
Gotcha.
How do they vote?
So you can, if you log on, you can look up NAR. It's through Realtor magazine. And then I'll share the link on my Facebook page if you want to look up Zack Ferrell and the Ferrell team real estate. And also if you look us up on the Winner's Circle podcast, we will also have a link there as well.
Awesome. Well, and they're all thinking, well, let's hear you. You got some good stuff for us, and then we might vote for you.
I guess we'll see.
All right. So Zack, tell us about your real estate journey.
Yeah. So I was born in Middletown, Ohio, which is famous for the most recent Netflix movie, Hillbilly Elegy.
Oh, yeah, we've talked about that.
Yes. And also in 2012, I think it was a top 10 dying city in America.
Really? Dying?
Yes. So we have AK Steel here, which probably employs about 8% of the city. It locked out about 2007, 2008. So a ton of foreclosures. In Ohio, we took on more Section 8 than anybody at one time.
Oh my gosh.
Over half the city is rentals. So kind of just at that time when I got into real estate, which was in 2013, I was the kid that always did well in high school. I never really tried too hard. And then I got into college and I was like, man, this is kind of harder than I thought. So I was, I just tried to grow business from when I started. I just started calling FSBOs because the market in Middletown was not good. I was 21. None of my friends were buying and selling houses. So I just started calling FSBOs. I listed 6 houses in like my first maybe 6 weeks.
Wow.
None of them sold. And it took me, I think, 6 months to close my first house. I was down to $7 in my bank account. Credit card was maxed out. And I sent out 300 expired letters, handwritten, every single one of them. I probably spent a week doing those. And now my good friend Derek Murphy and Shelby Murphy, they were the only ones to call me off the letter. And they saved my real estate career. And I will say that to this day. And since, ironically, they've bought, I think, probably 5 or 6 houses with me. Very great friends, very great clients. And that kind of started my journey. So my first full year, I think I closed 33 houses. I think second full year, I closed about 60, 64, somewhere in that range. So I've been in the business. It'll be 8 years in April. It's never really been about the numbers. So when somebody says, how many deals do you want to do next year? It's never been, all right, I want to do this many deals and I want to, make this amount of money. It's just always been about trying to get a little bit better every single day and about truly helping somebody out. I'm very much a relationship data-driven or database-driven person. I'm not great at capturing the online lead, but if I can get in front of somebody, usually they end up liking me and they want to do business with me. So, I've now
was Derek and Derek, and what was his wife's name? The people that saved you?
Shelby.
Shelby, did they actually know you, or was this a random send out letter?
It was a random send out letter.
Wow.
See,
I checked my email one day and I was so excited because somebody answered me.
So I actually think that's a better thing for people to hear, because anybody can, they could do that. It could be any random person that answers their letter. Whereas if it had been somebody you knew, that would have been different.
Would
So
have been different.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a numbers game. That's always what I've dated back to.
Yep, for sure. All right. So
What'd y'all do last year?
We did right shy of 29 million. We did 162 deals. Yeah, that's what it was.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay.
So, and I know there was a pivotal point for you where Anna, your team leader, was kind of coaching you, and y'all decided that a pivotal move for you would be maybe something in the admin position. Kind of tell us about that, because I think that's pretty important for a lot of people to hear that might be sitting on the fence on, what they need and what's missing for them to maybe go to the next level in their business.
Definitely. So I was at ERA for 7 years, and I was the person, I would grow every year and then I would plateau for a year, and I would grow every year and I would plateau for a year. My biggest mistake I made was never hiring soon enough and thinking I could do everything. So I hired a buyer's agent first, which he's now my co-captain of the team. And so we were at ERA our last 2 years, and we were stuck at right about 19 million, 2 years in a row. And then I met Anna, your daughter-in-law, Anna McKissick, who is my real estate / life coach mentor now. And she basically just invested in me, and she's like, you have to hire somebody which we had somebody that kind of did transactions here and there, but I recruited this lady named Cindy Dixon. I recruited her for probably 6 months. And she finally came over. And since she came over, we went from 19 million 2 years in a row to essentially 29 million. So just the addition of her boosted our business 50%. And I made another probably upwards of close to $200,000 profit by having that one person.
So she more than paid for herself. That was an investment.
Oh yeah. From what I paid her, I guess I 4 times my money.
Which is the number. Isn't that the number, Dana, that you're supposed to?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about, you said you're not that good at online. What have been the best sources for you for business?
So for me, it's, when I started when I was 21, I knew nobody that was buying or selling. So I built up this FSBO sphere of influence, an expired sphere of influence. And then when I kind of turned 24, 25, all my friends started saying, hey, let's buy a house. And now I'm 29. All my friends are saying, hey, let's sell our first house and buy another one.
Mm-hmm.
So I have this sphere in my left hand of my clients before my friends started buying and selling. And then I have this sphere in my right hand of my friends and family and all these people. So basically I've just combined them now. And I'm the person, I love to host people at my house. I will throw a party for any reason. I do a soup party in the fall. New Year's Eve parties, that's my thing. We hosted a customer appreciation party a couple of years ago. We couldn't last year because COVID, but we had probably 300 something people at this thing. We gave away a cruise. We gave away like refrigerators. We had a live band, all kinds of giveaways. I got it mostly sponsored, but it was probably about a $10,000 event we did. So I'm very much, if I see somebody out and I'm eating dinner, I'll buy their dinner. I won't tell them, then I'll just walk out of the restaurant. So I've just always kind of been the person that, like, when I walk into the room, I want to make their day better.
Love it.
I'm not the super high energy person. I'm not you, Dana. I can't ever be that person, which I wish I could be. I'm jealous of it, but I just try to make somebody's day better when I'm around them.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's allowed you or allowed other people? Because who is the person that says oh gosh, I'm going to butcher it, but the purpose of a business is to create customers that create other customers. I think it might be Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
And I've always loved that quote. I always show that in my database class that I teach, because at the end of the day, our goal is to create customers that are going to create other customers. That's the perfect way of saying it. Do you feel like you doing all that stuff, Zach, has led to that? And that's why your repeat referral is just so strong?
Definitely. So there's actually a street. We have one newer neighborhood in our area. It's called the Renaissance. And there's a street on the Renaissance that 5 of my friends have built a house on. And I go there every weekend and I hang out on that street. And I've probably sold 9 or 10 in that neighborhood. And just like everybody knows, like, hey, if you graduated from Middletown High School class of 2007 through probably 2013, you're probably going to use me, and you're probably going to move out there, or you're going to move to the Oaks neighborhood, and you're just going to use me. And all my friends get together, and I'll pay for, I'll pay for their dinners, and I'll pay for drinks and do those things. But they have just rewarded me time and time over, and I've just been super blessed by it. I've never been the best talker. I've never been the most creative person, but I care about people.
That's awesome.
I love it. What are your goals for this year?
I hate that question. So our goal actually is 240 deals this year. We're doing that for a specific reason. We are hoping to put $10,000 into a scholarship. So I am a part of the Middletown Community Foundation, a judge, and I wanted to start a scholarship this year. We're going to donate $40 for every closing we have, and that'll get us right around $10,000.
Wow.
And it gives us a talking point to reach out to our past clients. It's no longer, hey, this is what we're doing, please help us get to the next level. Now it's giving back, hey, if you can help us get to this next level, this is what it's going to do for other people. So we want to be able to send, one kid to college for free, essentially.
So it's a scholarship for kids from Middletown to go to college?
Yeah, Middletown, the surrounding areas. You've got a few cities around here that the foundation takes care of.
That's awesome. Like,
which is cool. I'm the only person ever to have received a scholarship and actually been on the scholarship board. So I'm kind of excited about that.
That is cool. That's really cool.
Where to go along with it. Okay, so let's go back to how your sources of your business. So is it 100% your database? And if so, other than throw parties and hang out in their street till they do something with you, is there anything else you do?
Yes, there is some method to the madness. So I'm about 85% sphere-based.
Okay.
So ironically, we put a house up today on the market. It's on Rosedale Road, and it got 2,000 shares yesterday on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, I was on
2,000? Oh, wait. I saw that. Was it the one with the really good pictures? And
it was.
Okay, yeah. I saw that, Zach. What made that one so special, do you think?
It was it was for sale.
That's true.
Nobody knew where it was, but nobody cared. It was a house.
Well, what's really funny about that is
So
for the price, it was listed at $450. It actually kind of went viral a little bit because of the price. And we had all these people on Facebook like, oh, we don't want to go to Middletown, Ohio if we can buy that house for $450. So it actually, I had a bunch of people from high school like messaging me, like laughing because people were getting in fights on the internet about it.
Wait, did you boost it or that was organic?
It went, so organically we had 56,000 views, but it went on for the love of older houses.
Did it go on that?
Yeah. So we made that.
Did they reach out to you and ask to do it?
No, we reached out to them.
That is amazing.
Yes. So pretty cool. So I actually sold this house 5 years ago. And when I sold it 5 years ago, so I've always had a plan. When I was 22, I wanted to be the agent in Middletown, Ohio. And remember back then, dying city, nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted to be a realtor here. And I said, I see the future. It can turn around. And if it does turn around, which I think it will, I'm going to be the guy. And people made fun of me. They laughed at me. They're like, who's this crazy kid? Right. And I started investing in Middletown. I started farming it. I'd send out postcards. I put a billboard up outside of the neighborhoods I wanted to be in. And then I sold this house on Rosedale. And it was the first sell over 250 in Middletown in like a year and a half. And then there's a street called Da Vinci Drive. It's like the second nicest street in Middletown. So somebody on Da Vinci Drive saw that I sold that house. And then they called me. They said, hey, we saw you sold that. Come sell our house. And then I sold the first house on Da Vinci Drive in like 15 years.
Wow.
And that gave me the momentum, and I kept it going. And then Manchester Manor, which is kind of like the upper middle class neighborhood in this area, I got 2 listings in there right after that in about a 45-day period. And from there, it just kind of took off for me. And I went from selling 30 houses to 60 houses.
Wow.
So I've been strategic. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I hope you literally invested in Middletown, or not just figuratively, because if you didn't, don't you look back now and go, crap, I should have bought all these houses when nobody would buy them.
I did. So when I was 24, I think I bought 8 rental houses for $350. And all 8.
Wow.
And now they're probably worth about $1.2 million.
Wow. Good for you.
Awesome.
Yeah. So best investment of my life. And I've flipped 9 houses last year. I have 15 rentals currently. So I've always made it like, I've always tried to invest in what I'm doing in the neighborhood that I'm in, because the more I can make Middletown nice, the more it's going to pay me back, is always the way I've looked at it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Love that.
So I've tried to be strategic about everything I've done. I play the part of, it's all about relationships, but I've built the relationships through being strategic. And, I can go back to my pastor's house that I sold, for example. He gave me 1 referral, and I've gotten probably 20 deals off just selling this house to him. So a lot of it's God's timing and just putting me in the right place and, capitalizing on that.
Well, and you can be a relational person and not put strategy around it and miss some relationships.
Yeah.
So putting a strategy around something that you're already naturally good at isn't not being authentic with it. It's actually allowing you to do more of it authentically.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I remember I was at an ERA event. I was probably 25, and I walked in there, and it was for agents doing less than 100 deals a year is what it was designed for. And I went into this class. It was probably like 80 people. And I started talking about an ISA, inside sales agent. And nobody in that room except for me knew what an inside sales agent was. And I had just hired one from the Philippines. And I knew at that moment, okay, I can do this. Like, I can be a top agent because I know things other people don't even try to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, so when I want to go back to the assistant for a second, the admin that you hired, because if that added you an extra 200K and 10 million in volume, I'm sure people listening are like, holy crap. So what were some of the key things that you feel like that they did to like really help you leverage your business so that you could grow like that?
So many things. Cindy is my real estate mom. I've never met another person in my life like Cindy. So I'm not always, and I tell people this, I'm not the best at always like training someone up from the beginning.
Most realtors are not.
Yes. I can find somebody though that has a little bit of experience and teach them to be great though, I think.
Mm-hmm.
However, Linda, you always talk about unproven, what is it? Up and coming talent, proven and unproven. So she was definitely proven. So I stole her, and she does everything. First of all, she's great with clients. That was most important to me. She does better with clients than I do sometimes. People will buy her closing gifts. They never buy me closing gifts.
Yeah.
So that's important to me. She knows where every single deal is every single day. Linda, something else you've taught me is I'm never going to create a great system, but I will hire somebody that can create a great system. Her spreadsheets, I have no idea what they even mean, but they work.
Yeah.
Okay. She knows where every deal is at every single moment. I have no idea. I am the most unorganized person, but I know how to make a house look great. And I know how to talk to people, and I'm very creative in being able to get them into the best situation they can be. That's about all I'm good at. Okay. She's great at everything else. She's so organized. And you know what? She makes friends with all these other realtors, and they want to work with us now. They want to sell our listings for the fact that they get to work with Cindy. Mm-hmm. I've done a couple of deals this year where I don't even think I've talked to the other realtors, which is fantastic because that's more time I get to spend with my clients creating and growing the brand.
Yeah. Sounds like you found a great who.
Yes, ma'am. If
Love it.
only I could find more who's, my life would be even more easy.
Yeah.
And that's actually raw, emerging, and proven is what you're looking for in talent. It's either raw talent, you don't have a lot of signals to know that they're going to be talent, but you think they have potential. Emerging shows there's a few signals that they could probably do the job you want to put them in. And proven is they've already done the job that you want them to do, which that was Cindy's case, right? She was already proven talent in a role you were actually going to put her in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
This year, we've been talking about a bunch of just the buzzword kind of has been experience with a lot of agents and creating that ultimate experience for their clients. Are you guys doing anything different with COVID experience wise?
Honestly, no. We've probably dropped the ball there a little bit. So in our area, which is the Midwest, Ohio, a lot of people don't care about COVID, to be honest with you. So it's not really changed a lot of life here compared to some others.
But are you still doing your little get-togethers and events and stuff with your clients like you were? Okay.
No, our plan is to hopefully do something later July,
Okay.
which from what it's looking like over the last few days, I think we're going to be able to do that. Because I have at my house, I've got ponds, I've got an in-ground pool, I've got a barn. So honestly, I have the perfect setup for anything we can do. So it saves probably $2,000 to $3,000 versus like
space.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a part of why I bought my house was for the event.
Love it.
Yeah, I get that. We do the same thing. We have we were actually able to do something right before family reunion last year. How many people do you think we had here, Dana?
We had over 100.
Yeah. Anyway,
I was there.
Yeah, you were there, Zach. Yeah.
So we do the same thing. We love it. We love, and I've always remembered when I went to someone's house and did either a mastermind or something with people I've done, in the real estate business before in the past. I love thinking of someone and thinking of them at their home. I don't know what there's just something about that. So I remember that and said, one day I want my home to be the home that people go to. And that's kind of what you've done. I've heard great things about it. Dana and I haven't been invited yet, but we've heard great things about it.
Open invitation.
Leadership Academy at your place next time.
We'll wrap it up there. Yeah.
Our graduation party is going to be there.
There we go.
That's awesome. So if you were in the audience listening to this and you weren't where you are in production, Zach, what would you want someone to tell you? What are some things you wish you had known when you were building your business that you didn't figure out until later on?
Your first hire should be an admin, not a buyer's agent. I now have a co-owner of my team instead of a buyer's agent because I didn't know how to produce the creativity and the systems and have them in place. So I've cost myself a lot of money by never having a system. I didn't learn the systems until I went to Keller Williams a year and a half ago at this point now. So I would say always keep your options open too. And always look for the next best thing. And you have to be a student. I read books on a monthly basis. I work at my craft.
Mm-hmm.
People see a top producing agent now, which I'm not even a top producing agent, but people see what I've become, but they didn't see the grind of what it took when I was 22 years old and working literally 75 hours a week. There was a span of 90 days where I didn't take a day off. People didn't see the grind. They see the glamour of real estate, but I would just say, take care of people, never go to lunch alone. Always try to find somebody to go to lunch with. Never be by yourself. Go into the supermarket every single day. I used to go to Kroger and get a salad every day. And I would just try to run into every person I could. And it just always started with a great conversation. So I would say work at your craft, hire soon the things you're not good at, and just try to make every relationship that you can.
Love it.
Love that.
That's a great way for us to end it. Dana, do you have any final questions that you think the audience would want to hear that we haven't covered with Zach? I love it, Zach. I love the fact that you didn't go out and buy all your business.
Yep.
You built it from the grassroots, from foot soldier approach. I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. I don't have any additional questions. I just think I was pumped when you guys made the move and it's been cool to watch you grow and watch all the stuff that you guys are doing. And you bring such great energy to your office and all those things. And so I think it's good to see, you know, I had a conversation with somebody today who said that all that they were worried about right now was just the money of what they're paying. And it was somebody who never engages. And I just think, I wish I could just tell everybody to do what you do. I mean, you know, just like you said, you read books and you do this stuff and you're engaged and you're in the market center and your team is always learning and you're always attending events and, you know, all of that stuff. And it pays off. I mean, it really does. People underestimate the value in that. And you guys have just like nailed it. And I love it. I just think it's awesome to watch.
Zack, before we end today, tell everybody you and Spencer started a podcast. Tell us about that podcast, how people can find it and listen to it, and why'd you start it?
Yeah. So first off, Dana, you make it sound so great. And like we have a perfect system. It's never ending work to try to perfect it. And it's hard. You can never stay where you're at. You're always going to grow or you're going to get worse. And that's the struggle every day is you can't be complacent. So if you're listening to this, don't think we have it down because we don't. Every day you still wake up and kind of wonder where your next listing is going to be. So no matter what level you're at, I think you always get there, whether you're a new agent or a proven agent. So that's the first thing I'd say. But so our podcast, it's called The Winner's Circle with Spencer and Zack Ferrell. The point of the podcast was essentially everyone defines success as, you know, making a lot of money, or most people do. But success, in our opinion, is the journey. So we try to interview different people. So we've had a professional UFC fighter on there. We've had a former Marine who became a drug addict and he's now a pastor. We've had a kid that started a barbershop when he was like 20 years old and is now super successful at it. So we just kind of interview all kinds of different people. We usually have a guest most weeks and just kind of tell their story. It's around to just inspire people, really. We had a guy on yesterday who he is a social media influencer, which I couldn't believe that was ever going to be a job. But he has 2,000 followers on TikTok. He got those really quick. He had a YouTube channel, and I think he had like 500,000 at one time. He is famous because Logan Paul married him. So if you know who Logan Paul is, he's a big social media guy. And he actually has been boxing people professionally now, is what he's known for. So you'll have to look him up. He's an interesting guy. But he married him in Vegas. But anyways, we were sitting here talking to this guy, and I'm like, this is who we need to hire to blow us up. So we're getting ready to have the conversation with him about like coming over and like joining the team part-time and kind of just like working on our real estate and just trying to grow that. So it's cool the people you meet and, you know, the things you learn, just like you guys are doing. It's just cool the connections you can make. And, you know, you take one thing from every person's story and you can probably be a decent human being.
Yeah, I love that. How can they find you on Instagram, Facebook?
So I am the worst tech person ever. I don't know how to do anything except for post on Facebook. So my Facebook is Zack Ferrell. Our team page, which I do not run, is the Ferrell team. Our podcast, which I do not run, is the Winner's Circle podcast with Spencer and Zack Ferrell. And I think we have an Instagram page, probably the Ferrell team. But once again, there's things I'm good at and not good at, and that's not it. So I just stick with the people and I stick with the relationships. But if you just look up the Ferrell Team Real Estate or Zack Ferrell, you'll find us on Google.
Love it.
I'm just glad you're making Linda and I feel better. We've tried about 800 different microphones and we don't know how to do any of that stuff. Thank gosh we have Kate.
If you need some help, I'll let Spencer know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's awesome. Well, I love you, Zack. I love your entrepreneurial spirit. I love that you are not afraid to make commitments that scare you a little bit. I love that you are relational, and I love that you care about people, and that's first and foremost. And I always say when you give enough value to the world, you can't keep the money away. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly what you're doing. And so love it. Love everything you do. And I love your entrepreneurial spirit and willingness to just go try things.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. My Enneagram, or however you say that, says that I am the ultimate risk taker. So that's the other thing I would say is I've never been afraid to take a risk because I always feel like God's going to have my back. And as long as I'm doing the right thing for people, it's always going to work out.
Love it.
What's your Enneagram? Do you remember the number?
I think it's 3-8, but
That's what I am. Yeah, Linda too.
what do you know?
That's why we like each other so much.
Either a good or a bad thing, I guess.
Well, we can just tell you where it's going to cause you problems and where it's going to work out for you.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Zach. We appreciate it. Be sure and jump over and listen to his podcast and find him and follow him in all the places he doesn't know where he's at. I just want to say, if you haven't hit subscribe, please be sure and hit the subscribe button below. Also, if you can think of realtors or friends or business associates that you think that would benefit from our conversations on our podcast, be sure and pass this podcast along to them. If you have questions or comments or any challenges Dana and I can help you with, reach out to us at info@everything life and real estate. And Dana, guess I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. I'll see you then. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.